Kalani, I just asked Jaron about this, but I wanted to get your thoughts about what the team was able to do with the Love One Another shirts and seeing the what they were able to donate and what that meant to the team.
Oh yeah, it meant a lot to them. But I think more importantly is what the cool message to our team was that the fans that bought into it and were able to buy those shirts and help out so many people that couldn't pay for school and things like that. I think that it went a long way, and I got here towards the tail end when Jaron was talking about it. And that's what we're trying to make sure that we're trying to align with the teachings that Christ gave about helping people out, and we want to keep focusing on that even as a football program.
Also wanted to just ask thoughts from day one. What was it like being out with the boys?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. I'm just I'm glad that I'm hoping that we can finish up and make sure that we get the next 14 going. But for day one, I mean it's a little different because you're trying to get through the first two, and make sure you can get through it where you're kind of trying to get acclimated, and then you get the pads on, and then we can let it go. But today, a lot of really good things, and I would have to say that some of the things I like from our offense are just really clean, and you could tell that we had a lot of veterans, especially under center and snapping the ball at center. But we had a lot of guys that you can tell that the experience pays off, and that they've been through this before. So on the defensive side, we're a little bit young, but I love the energy, and the guys ran really well to the ball. And I think we're gonna, like I said, day one was really good, and I'm looking forward to improving in day two and challenge the players to get it that much better. See the things of the mistakes that they made today, and then try to get that much better in day two. So we're looking forward to getting the next practice in tomorrow, and I'm really pleased from what I saw.
Coach, you mentioned the youth on that defensive side of the ball, and obviously it's early, but who are some of the new faces or some of the young guys that caught your eye on day one?
All of them. I hate picking out one guy or two to talk about because I'm going to forget everybody else. So I think overall they did some good things. I mean, if I were to pick out people, it's that you have some good experienced guys up front, O-line on the offensive side, and some receivers and tight ends. All the guys are returning. So on the defensive side, that linebacking crew was a big plus for us, having those guys that played a lot of games and made a lot of plays. And then the defensive line, with our ones right now, look really nice. So there was a lot of mistakes still, but I can tell you that the mistakes were made, but the guys can really run, and that's what I'm really, really fired up about on the defensive side. Now, if we can get the mistakes fixed, or at least try to make a huge improvement in the assignment issue from today to tomorrow, then that in combination with the speed that I saw is going to be exciting.
Right, let's go with Mitch, and then Jay, and then Jake Hatch, and then Jake Edmonds.
Kalani, what stood out to you, your initial thoughts on what stood out from your quarterbacks on day one?
Yeah, they can throw. I mean, there were a lot of good throws today, and you could tell that there's a competition going on, but the guys weren't shy to throw the ball down the field, and I was really pleased with the targets that they're throwing to. The guys caught the ball really well, and I think what you're used to in day one is the administrative penalties, so like guys misaligned and guys being in the wrong spot, and maybe some false starts here and there, and we didn't have any of that. So that's a good sign for us, that it was really clean on as far as administrative penalties. We were lined up correctly, and that should happen when you have a bunch of veterans there. But what was really cool was the fact that the twos and the threes didn't have any of those either. So that's a good sign for us.
Kalani, we just got the roster, but I'm trying to go through it. But are Jared Capisi and Uriah Leatua the only two returning guys, seniors that decided to come back?
Yes.
Okay, those are the two. Were any guys on the fence or anything, or was it pretty clear cut who wanted to come back and who didn't?
Yeah, well, see, the conversation started really early, even almost mid-season, where a lot of the guys had to think about what they wanted to do and how it was going to go. But I think the fact that we played 12 games made a big difference. And then a lot of the guys have, they've already graduated, and so a lot of them were ready to move on to the next level or move on to the next phase in life, and we're good with that. We have a bunch of guys that are brand new to the program as well, and I think it would have been fine because there's not a scholarship limit when it comes to those guys that are returning. But for us, I could see when we had all those conversations with players individually, and they had conversations with me, had conversations with their position coach, and and their families and their coordinator, and it just seems like that's just what it came down to. Those guys felt that they had a complete season, and I think it'd be a different story if they only played 5 or 6 games, then they probably would have came back. But playing 12 games, I think it was really fulfilling for them.
And then last week, I think we asked you about players switching positions, but I'm not sure if you understood the question. I know Donovan Hanna is moving to offensive line from tight end. Are there any other players that come to mind that are making a position switch?
I'm trying to think. Brett, anything come to mind? Not right now. I think Mason Fakahua moved from quarterback to running back. I'm trying to think. And then the DBs can play anything. They can play nickel or safety or corner. So you're going to probably see a lot of movement there. As far as anything else I think you covered it, and we'll play around with some things. And the goal is, I say it every year, try to get the best 11 on the field, and we're going to try to do that. And also give some guys some looks and try to create some depth. So I think we're in a good spot right now, but those are the only ones that come to mind right now. And I'll think it over, Jay, and let you know if there's anything else.
Kalani, I wanted to ask you about your 2 new coaching additions in Daryl Funk as well as Kevin Clune. How they fit in so far? What are your thoughts on day 1 with them out there?
Oh, they're great. Yeah, I've had no issues, and I'm really excited about those coaches and the way they connect with their position group. We've been able to have some meeting time leading up to spring ball, and even before that, they've already connected with their position group, so that I don't see any issues at all. I mean, it's really gone really smooth, and I think the players bought in. Clune's been around, so it's just a little bit different. He's been around for the last year, and Funk is, the guys really like him. I mean, I was spending my time watching the individual today, and they're ready to roll. I like what I saw from them, and specifically they're really disciplined today. So not a lot of missed assignments, and the fact that we went day 1 without any false starts or any issues, with snap counts or even substitution on the offensive side was really nice.
Your offensive line had a lot of attrition from last year's squad coming into this year. Do you think you guys have enough bodies right now that can fill in the gaps where Brady and the other guys left off?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the number of guys that have played and have started, I think we're going to be fine. And we can get some guys healthy, and I think we're going to be okay. But from what I saw with our 3 groups of O-line, I'm excited about them.
Kalani, spring football marks a year since sports were essentially shut down because of COVID. Have you taken the time to just kind of look back over the last year at what you guys were able to accomplish, and now that you're back to spring football, just have you had the time to just look back and at the last year?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel really old because that went by so fast, the last year. And so it seems like ever since I got home from my mission, time just flew by, and even in football and coaching, and even some of the tough times have been where, just time just goes by. And then a year ago we had I believe 5 practices, and we had to put a stop to it. But we've made a lot of progress as a team, but I'm looking at all of us as a society. I think we've made a lot of progress, and I think we're heading in the right direction. We just got to keep sticking together, and hopefully we can get to the point where we can have a lot of fans and have a regular football season. But until then, we're going to try to do what we can to have as much of a regular spring football as we can, and we'll see what it looks like in the spring game. But yeah, it's good to reflect back on it, and what it drives me to do is just be really thankful that a lot of people have worked to get us an opportunity to play football, and that means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to our players.
Go ahead, Norma.
But what do you believe is probably like the key to have a successful 2021 season? And did you guys take that first step today?
Yeah, I'm not even worried about the fall right now. I'm focused on what we're trying to get done here in spring football. And from day one, I was really pleased. I think you're going to hear a lot of coaches say that, but I can tell you I'm really excited about what I saw on day one. And so I think we'll see how the competitions go and the position battles and everything. But I thought it was a really clean day, and I think the guys, they're obviously there are a lot of seasoned guys that have a lot of experience under their belt, and so hopefully we can build on that. But from day one, I was really happy. Yeah, I think we're going in the right direction.
And you were talking about competition. It seems like Jared gave up baseball to solely focus on football. What are your thoughts on him and how he's had to deal with injuries for the past couple of years and where he's at now, and just sort of what you hope to see from him for the competition?
Yeah, good question. I have to say I'm really impressed. I've been really impressed with A-Rod and how he handles the quarterback room. I remember when we had Jaron get hurt a couple years ago, and then even when Zach was out, those guys improved in their football IQ. And so I think being able to take those guys that are injured and keep working with them and have them progress as a football player is a huge key to their success. And I saw that happen with Jaron a lot this year. And so even though he wasn't able to participate on the field, I saw a huge jump in his learning the game. And he loves the game, and he knows a lot, but maybe it's just finding the little intricacies and learning from a different perspective, like a coach looks at. I think that's going to be really helpful for him, and I know he and Baylor have been able to benefit from that a lot. And look at what Conover was able to do in the offseason. Those guys learned the game of football, and I give a lot of credit to the way A-Rod runs his room and the way those guys work together.
All right, I think that's it for today. Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys, appreciate it. Stay safe.